And our next the next signing that we're going to be talking about today is Joshua Barnes, a 5'10", 170-pound cornerback out of Los Angeles, California, via Santa Monica High School. He is coached by not coached by, but went to, I'm assuming, kind of worked out with a former Vandal cornerback, Herb Cash, and as Jason Eck quote tweeted him on Twitter/X, he is the fastest guy in the recruiting class that for Idaho right now, which is, I think, something great and great to see more speed at this class. Patrick, what are your thoughts on Joshua Barnes?
Yeah, no, the first thing that pops off the tape is just the raw speed. Dude is extremely fast. Like you said, Eck quote tweeted his little 30-second video of him signing, and he said fastest player in the class, and there's some speedsters in this class, dude. So that is great to see at the corner position. He's one of those guys that most of his film is from the receiver position. He played both ways in high school, and he was like a standout playmaker as a receiver too. But so we don't see a ton of his corner film, but some of the film that we do see is him, picking a ball off and taking it to the house. I think he's going to be one of those turnover machine type guys. He has great hands, and he was a stud receiver in high school. I think he's going to be one of those. In 2023, Idaho dropped a lot of picks, and I think Josh is one of those guys that was kind of a let's address the drop picks and catch those things. He looks like an incredible athlete that's going to go get the ball, and that's something great to see at corner. We don't see a ton of his coverage abilities, but to me, he seems like the athlete. He has the speed, he has the quickness, he has the hips to be a good cover guy at the corner spot. I know there's a job available there because we lost. Portal took number one or number two corners, so we'll see if this guy steps up and possibly competes for a job.
Oh yeah, I love everything that you said, Patrick. The other thing I think, yes, in the huddle tape that we are watching right now, it is a lot of wide receiver stuff, but I still think it's kind of looking at it like kind of looking at things like kind of in a kind of like show that like how well he could play a DB is. He still is able to, like, he's making a contested catches, and I think with being a DB, it still is. You can see like he's able to go up and like perfectly go up and jump and get those balls, and maybe that will, like, obviously with a DB, might be turn into more interceptions for Idaho in the coming years, knowing that we didn't have that quite that many outside of the Idaho State game this year.
Dude, yeah, and what's funny about Josh is like he's only 5'11", but he was almost like his team's throw it up to him and hopefully he catches it guy. Like how in 2022 at least, anytime Hayden Hatton had a one-on-one in the red zone, we all are just, oh, it's going to be a 50-50 ball to him. He was like that guy for his team, and he's only 5'11". Like, he's not a tall guy. He just goes up and gets it. He can jump really high. He's a great athlete. So, I don't know. He was definitely kind of the, I guess my comparison would be the screw it. Josh is down there somewhere. He's just going to send it to him, and he goes and gets it. So, it's good to see a guy with, hands like that coming to the defensive side of the ball with the great speed and agility he has. I just think it's a recipe for turnovers, and I like it.
Oh, I do too. Any final thoughts you have on Joshua before we move on, Patrick? Or
no, it's just fun to have a ball hawk type corner out there.
Oh yeah, I think this is I guess kind of maybe to put it into perspective of something. I know kind of seemed like I was wrapping it up here. Putting into perspective, this is definitely one of those, like, put into NCAA 14 perspective for those that played that game. I definitely view Joshua as one of those like true athletes that you get that like he's probably like a 70 overall, 71 overall. He could play wide receiver, he could play DB. And I think just with the needs that Idaho has, he just was like, I'm going to assign him to DB now just because I need that. We need those players now. I definitely think he could be one of those, he could be one of those early contribute. You could see the field early if he comes in and plays like we probably all think he could do.
Yeah, I think he could contribute early, especially with the kind of lack of depth at the corner position specifically, with barring the portal. But that is also a position that we're semi expecting additions through the portal as well in May. So, we'll see. I think he has the potential to compete for a job there with his speed. I think he could be a really good slot corner type guy. But yeah, we'll see.
Oh yes, I am excited for Joshua. That we are moving on to our next signing.